acquaintance be forgot.
Hey, I
Just
keep telling
kidding.
everyone
Happy New
what an
Year,
amazing
everybody.
Happy New Year. I keep telling everyone what an amazing singer you are. What was that?
I don't know. I just figured we'd start off in something a little bit different today.
Yeah, that was beautiful, sister. Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all our listeners. As you know, you're listening to In the Company of Charity, a podcast of the Daughters of Charity. And I am Sister Elizabeth, and I'm here with Sister Liz, the songstress.
The songstress, you guys, if you listen to the novena, you caught my voice. The really, really high notes for the Magnificat antiphon, the O antiphons. That was me, guys. That was me.
I know it's so amazing. Every year when we listen, I'm like, "There's Liz, there's Sister Liz. It's so beautiful." Yeah, and nobody can reach the heights that you do.
No, they can't, but I
They
was doing it
can't.
as written. Let's
Yeah,
just remember
yeah.
it. I
Well,
was doing it as written.
I have to tell you, we were at the Provincial House, which is here in St. Louis, and the sisters from the St. Louis area and from Belleville in Illinois came. So it was like 40 sisters, which was awesome. And we sang the novena together, and it was glorious. I mean, eh,
Oh,
when sisters who have like been singing this for 60 years, begin to
they
sing,
have it
it's like
memorized.
their whole being changes, everything about them just comes alive. And when they sang the Magnificat, the antiphons to the Magnificat, I was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful." Just their voices. I listened because I could never sing the antiphons of that novena, but it was exquisite. So that was a great. It was just such a we just had a really wonderful Christmas spirit here in the seminary. Anyways, it was just a beautiful time. Really simple, very relaxing. We just really kind of deserved a little bit of a break. And we
Mm.
took it. But we were together a lot. We had a lot of community time. So it was really nice. It was really, really nice. And then we had a wonderful New Year's celebration. And today we had a nice dinner. And so, but tomorrow, back to the schedule.
Yes, back to the grind, but the joy of the new year. And for us, it was great. We took part in part of Simbangabi, which is a Filipino tradition novena prior to Christmas at the parish here, and just learned a lot of words and phrases in Tagalog, which was really fun. And we had 5 languages for Christmas here in South Texas: English, Spanish, Latin, Tagalog, which is what they speak in the Philippines, and Igbo, which is what they speak in Nigeria. So we had a song in Igbo, which was really fun.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Like an international Christmas is great. That's
It was fun, and
wonderful.
those
Yeah.
translations really just, the way it just is so rich, the way people describe coming to the crib, to come to the manger, the shepherds, the angel choirs singing Gloria. I mean, it really moved me, man. It really moved me this year of um, being there with the Holy Family and God becoming man. It just was really touching, and now a great start to 2024. And always starting off with our act of consecration, which we do every January 1st, and just giving this year and ourselves to the Lord, which is, well, what else is there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite parts of the consecration is when we say we give our minds and all its faculties and our hearts with all its passions. It's something like I was like, it like brings tears to my eyes. I'm like, we just give ourselves so completely. And the act of consecration at the end of the year is just really very powerful. It's really powerful. So I was really glad to be able to do that. Each year you do it, it's different. I mean, it's how the year went and who you're still living with and what's happening in your house. The comings and goings of St. Louise are really manifested every day in our houses, and it's really powerful when you experience something almost new every year. Nothing about this gets old. nothing. And that's so precious. I
Exactly.
think it's so precious that every year we come to this season, and every year it astounds us. As you say, it's touching. It's the wonder of it all. It's just amazing. It's really amazing. We're very blessed. Blessed.
I was tempted to count how many times the word peace has come in the prayers and the readings and intercessions. It just has been such a theme that has jumped out to me this year of God bringing peace or the desire for peace, and praying for peace. And I think that is a beautiful segue into our interview today. We're having two sisters, and you can talk more about them, but just they're coming from areas that are filled with strife, areas of the world, and yet you're going to hear in their voices a beautiful sense of joy and peace and certitude in their vocation that really shines through when you hear from them.
Yeah, the interview is with Sister Tiblets and Sister Alganesh. And I met them at the seminarium. Many of you who've been listening know this happened back in April, but it still sits with me. It was a very profound experience. Just wonderful, wonderful women. And as you said, the joy that they express, and just when you see them, there's just a peacefulness about them. You'll hear this in their voice. It's just a very calm, very peaceful presence that they have, and yet they live in such areas that are so difficult and have so much strife and war, especially in Eritrea, and just really, really difficult places. And yet their service is so real, and their commitment to the charism, to the company, to the poor, is really very, very strong, along with their commitment to these young women who they are forming and guiding to be, members of the Daughters of Charity, and will be sent out on mission soon. It's just very, very exciting. So it's a short episode, really, because they're so simple. It's- there's nothing extraneous. Not like me, talk on and on and on. They just say very simply what they want to say. Their joy
Mm.
and just the way in which they came to the company is just filled with that sense of witness. We witness to one another, and as that happens, we continue that witnessing on. It becomes like a stream of relationships that get built.
Yeah, so these girls are really wonderful. We hope you enjoy this episode. Happy New Year to you, and um, just know that you and your families, your loved ones, your intentions are in our prayers as we begin this new year of our Lord 2024. We're grateful for you. Share this episode with anyone that you think might be interested, people who are discerning or people who aren't discerning a life choice. Maybe they already have given their life to God in some way, but this is an inspiration of God's movement in the lives of people all over the world, and especially for the service of the poor. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the episode.
Hi, everyone. This is Sister Elizabeth, and surprisingly, I am still at the Motherhouse of the Daughters of Charity in Paris, France. We are at the Rue de Bac, the Shrine of the Miraculous Medal. And most of you know the Miraculous Medal came from the visionary and saint, the very simple, wonderful daughter of charity named Catherine Labouré. So if you don't know about it, you should look it up, anything around the Miraculous Medal. But I am here today, continue to be with my partners in the seminary. We are here at a conference, kind of a session, we would call it. It's like a workshop on working with our newest members. And it's a very exciting work, but it can be a little scary sometimes. And I'm here today with Sister Tiblets and Sister Alganesh, and they are they've just become good friends here, and I've enjoyed being with them, and we've just been having a great time. So I wanted them and you to meet them. So Sister Tiblets, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what province you're in, when did you meet the daughters?
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Sister Tiblets Baraki from Ethiopia, and now I am in the Motherhouse with Sister Elizabeth. And how I joined the Daughters of Charity, my parish priest loved the Vincentian fathers. So when I shared with him about I'm thinking to join a community, he directed me to contact the Daughters of Charity. So I contact the Daughters of Charity sisters who are living near my village. Sister Maria Mawit from Eritrea. I went for come and see, and she welcomed us. We were a group of us. She welcomed us very well, and she gave us the book of Saint Vincent de Paul. And we read the book, and she explained to us, she taught us more about Saint Vincent. And I fell in love with Saint Vincent. I was so... I loved his way of life, the way he served the poor. I wanted to know more about Saint Vincent and then Saint Louis. So Sister Maria Mawit gave us more instruction on the Daughters of Charity, the Vincentian saints. So I wanted to stay in the community. So that's how my vocation started. And I joined the community in 1992, and now I am almost 30 years of vocation. And most of my time as a Daughter of Charity, I worked with information, and now I am a missionary in Kenya. And now I am working with seminary sisters like Sister Elizabeth. So now I came to the Motherhouse for a formation session, and it has been very good. I feel renewed, energized, updated in my formation training, and I am very happy now. I am going tomorrow back to Kenya, and I am very grateful for this time together with many Daughters of Charity from the world. We are from 28 countries, I think, so it has been a great time together, and we are going back to our ministry now with a renewed spirit and with grateful heart for what we have learned in the Motherhouse. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Tiblets. It's funny because we met before we came here, but we didn't really know we were ever going to get here together. And that's always kind of the way with the Daughters of Charity, right? You meet somebody and you think, I'll never see her again. And then somehow the world turns and we're in the Motherhouse together. But Sister Tiblets and I were involved in Zoom sessions. We used to try to use technology in a positive way, right? Between her seminary sisters and the seminary sisters in the United States. And they got to meet, and then they had a little session of dialoguing with one another on a letter from Mother Suzanne Guillemot. And it was very, very fruitful, I think, for them. And funny, since we've been here, people have been asking about, tell us about how you did the Zoom, and we want to Zoom. So it's become kind of a thing, and I think it will be really exciting to continue to get our seminary sisters connected to one another to see the internationality of the company, right? Because, as you said, you're Ethiopian, you met the daughters in Ethiopia, but now you're a missionary in Kenya, but still doing the same work, right? Still in formation.
Yes.
I've been in formation about 8 months, so I don't think about years yet, but you've been in formation quite a while. So I see you as a real mentor to me in how to do this. But we're also here with Sister Alganesh, and she is also working with seminary sisters. We have about 157 seminary sisters around the world, I believe. And the seminary directresses are here. All of our seminary sisters are still home studying and doing what they do. And so we're excited to have Sister Alganesh here. So tell us a little bit the same. Where are you from? How long have you been a daughter? Where did you meet them? What was kind of burning in your heart that made you come to the community?
Okay, thank you for this invitation. I'm Sister Alganesh Stephanos from Eritrea. I am so glad to say about my vocation journey. I am the firstborn, so really I had, since my childhood, the Daughters of Charity were working in my parish. So I loved them, but when I saw their service of the poor, I was so attracted. So I was praying God that maybe one day I will be a Daughter of Charity. And especially Sister Katerina, she was serving the poor with really humble spirit. So I was praying every day for this vocation, and God granted me. So I'm so happy for this. But my father, he was not allowing me because since I am the firstborn, he didn't want to join the Daughters of Charity. But my mother, she was praying for me. And really the prayer has been victorious in this. So I am so glad to join the Daughters of Charity. Since 1986, I joined in the Daughters of Charity. I love them, really. So we were 4 together, but 2 of them, they left the community, and 2, we were together since 2003. But 1 left, and I remained alone. But still, really, I like the Daughters of Charity, and I am so happy. And I have really worked many years in formation stages, different from with aspirants, postulants, and seminary sisters. Really, my conviction is to be Daughter of Charity is really to be Daughter of God. This is really I love, and I always have contact also in serving the poor, in the service of the poor. So we are so glad to be here in the Motherhouse, and I came 4 times here, in Motherhouse, in a different invitations, but now we have done the session formation, and I'm so happy also to know Sister Elizabeth here. It's for the first time that I have met her, but really I will carry her in my heart because she is very a mother, lovely mother, and she cares us. So I thank God and also thank the company and also my Sister Elizabeth. Thank you for this invitation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. I know we have to let the listeners know. I think I'm the oldest one of the seminary directresses, but I'm like the youngest in vocation. Not really the youngest, but I'm close to. I didn't come until 1996. I was 36 years old when I came, so I was an old lady then. But I also started with 4, and there's just myself and 1 other sister. But you know, when we talk about our own seminary time, right? Our own, and most of our listeners know that when we talk about the seminary, we're talking about what might be equivalent somehow to a novitiate for religious. But because we're not religious, we're a society of apostolic life. I think one of the things you both spoke about was the service of the poor, which is such a hallmark. It is the reason we come together, right? As a society of apostolic life, to be apostolic, to mission to the poor, to live together in community. And I think the internationality of the company shows so strongly in sessions like this that I've been saying in other interviews, we are from around the world, literally every continent practically, right? Just in our little English-speaking group, we have Asian sisters, African sisters, sisters from the United States, very different groups of women, and yet we're one in the charism. Right? We could each have come to the community in the same way. We met a daughter. She was a beautiful woman. She was joyful. She served the poor. And something in our hearts woke up and just burned with the desire to join. And we see that, I think, in our young members. Right?
Yes.
There's such joy in them, but it's also a little scary for them. It's a different world than even when we entered in the 1990s. It's a little different. And do you find now how many seminary sisters are in Eritrea?
We have 5 seminary sisters.
Yeah, we have 5.
In Kenya, we have 3.
3. So right between us, 13 young women who are still choosing, right? People think, nobody goes into the convent anymore. No one joins the sisters. And it's not true. There may not be hundreds, but these 13 will be mighty, And we pray for their perseverance.
In Kenya we have some vocation, like we have 3 postulants, and 3 of them will begin soon postulancy, and then we have 8 candidates. So there is vocation.
And that's I think the powerful message is that while vocations might not be the way they were in the old days, right? Vocations are still happening, and young women are still choosing to give their lives to God, in the service of the poor, and we'll always be there to kind of welcome them the same way we were welcomed, right? The same way you were welcomed by the communities that you came to. In all of that wonder and excitement. I think that's what I felt here was I thought, wow, if our seminary sisters could be here and see us, right? And for us to see all of them and realize that they and we are daughters of charity. We're in different phases in our life and in our formation, but all the wisdom and the prophetic nature of St. Louise's Lumiere experience, which we're celebrating 400 years ago. Louise had these doubts about her life lifted by God, on Pentecost, and he gave her this vision of a community where women would live together, where they would serve the poor, and there would be many comings and goings, right? And we have stayed true to that vision all this time, and I love that we can sit around this table, never been to each other's country, probably never will be, but we're sisters. We're sisters in St. Vincent, we're sisters in St. Louise, we're sisters with the poor, and that's such a strong identity for us. Well, I just, I want to thank you both because you have been a great witness to me here. You've been doing this a lot longer than I have, and like you said, I feel like the old lady here. But
thank you. We learned a lot from you. All the resources we have shared. All the experiences. We learned a lot from each other.
We did. We learned a lot from each other, which is what these sessions are about, right? Is to come together and experience the same sense that we're in this together. We're all, we've heard over and over that we can't form young members unless we're formed ourselves, right? That the newer members really depend on us being formed well, and this experience, I think, has really helped solidify that aspect of our own ministry as formators, and not to be. I think I said today, don't be afraid.
That's true.
That this is a work of God, and God will help us through it. So, So thank you both for taking the time to talk to me, and we'll pray for each other, and we'll pray for our seminary sisters and for our postulants who are still discerning, that they might discern well
Yeah.
And if this is their call, that they'll know the doors of the Daughters of Charity are open to them, and the poor are waiting just on the other side to be served and to be served well. So thank you both very much, and safe trips home to your countries.
Thank you too.
Safe journey.
And it's our first time to record like this. I hope our listeners will understand us, understand our accent.
I think they will. They understand my accent. I have an East Coast accent. So the sister, one of the seminary sisters who's from California, which is on the West Coast, she laughed at me because I have this, what she would say is a different accent, you know, and she didn't think people actually spoke the way I speak. And so if they can understand my accent, they'll understand yours for sure. So thank you again. Safe trip home, and we'll continue to pray for each other.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your simplicity.